Welcome to the Paradigm Shift, episode 142, live from Bermuda. We have two unbelievable guests on today. I personally can't wait for both of them. We're going to get started in just a minute. Let's rock. Rudi, I see you, brother. We're going to bring you on lesson 5. Lesson 5. Let me know how you all feeling in the chats. What's a win for this week? What are you excited about in 2024? And is there a specific question you'd like me to ask Uncle Dave before we bring on our two? I can't wait. Hi, Mom. Big Dave.
Big Little Craig. Siegel,
What are you
where the hell are you?
Doing great. What are you nibbling on? Anything good?
Where are you?
I'm in Bermuda.
Ah, there we go. The truth vibrates the fastest, doesn't it, buddy?
Huh?
The truth vibrates the fastest, doesn't it?
Yes. It's nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I hope you're getting some great R&R. You need it.
Yes, I do.
Those marathons take a lot out of you.
Huh?
Those marathons take a lot out of you.
Not only that, but I know you get
Yeah.
it. It's great to see you. Are you in Vegas?
Say again?
Are you in Vegas?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas.
I know. I would have liked to have been there with you, but I just need to.
Yeah.
How's it going over there? I saw you were at the Sphere with you too. How was that?
The Sphere was amazing.
Tell me more.
Well, I slept through half of it. So
What do you mean?
It was after 9 o'clock. So, I was very, very active for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But yeah, like I will watch any concert. I will watch UFC. I'll do anything in the Sphere. It is out of this world. The best part about it is I could imagine thinking when I was a kid that something like that would exist in my lifetime.
What is it? What is the background? Is that
It's video. Like it's a screen. So the ball is a screen, and it looked as if they have some sort of white fabric or cloth or something. And then the highest quality, I don't know what is it, 8K or 12K or 150K. I don't know what it was, but it was clearer than real life. And they have, embedded video on other video with a backdrop of video. You can see the videos online, right? So, and the sound, because it's round, it was just awesome. 17,500 people. It was awesome. I'd highly recommend it before, it's kind of like going outside the atmosphere. Everybody should do it once in their lifetime.
Understood. Before I ask you a quick question, we bring on our first guest. How was U2 and Bono's performance? They still got it?
Yeah, it's U2. So, he's not quite as impressive as Mick Jagger, but, he's only 63. I think Mick Jagger's 80. So.
Is he 80?
I think so.
Crazy.
79. Right. I think he just turned 80, but I could be wrong.
Okay. We're going to continue from last week's. I'm going to ask you a quick nugget from A Course in Miracles, and we'll bring on Rudi. You ready for me?
Rudi.
Okay. Our current view of others, far from being objective truth, is the product of hidden dynamics in our own minds. Other people are radically different from the beings we perceive them to be.
Yeah, of course. So, this is a basis of understanding. Before we get anywhere, there is a perceived notion of who you are, and there's a perception of who you are going to where you will be. And so that's why I always say what other people think is none of your business. And, I will perturbate people to facilitate those people that, know that I am looking out for their best interest or love them. I'll perturbate them to see how much they understand that. Because in the end, right, all advice is a handful of sand, whether it's Mrs. Siegel or your business coach or your fiance, whoever it may be. It doesn't matter. It's just a handful of sand. And if it doesn't resonate with you, you got to let it fall through your hands and then hold on to the things that resonate with you. And, the differentiator is the appreciation of either people that care about you, and sometimes out of ignorant arrogance, they're afraid for you more than they are for themselves. But in the end, your perception of who others are will be indicative of the relativity of not only your relationship with them, but what they say and how and what you feel when they say it. And so the greater lesson within the context of the Course in Miracles is that you give meaning to everything you see, including yourself and others.
Love it. Yeah.
I'm glad you're reading that, though.
I know
Rudy,
what's up, brother?
Good morning, gentlemen.
Where are you dialing in from, brother? Where are you?
I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, in my home office. So what a great way to start a Saturday morning, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm super stoked for this. Rudy and I are good friends. And for our audience, if you weren't familiar, play catch up, give a vouch, do a deep dive. We're just going to dive right into it. You ready for us?
Absolutely.
One of the things that you've been talking about, well, you talk about often, but it's something that's really on my mind as we enter 2024, is intentionality and creating a life with intention as opposed to by default. Why is that so important for you specifically?
Well, I think that there's really just two ways to live your life. You can either live your life walking into a room and reacting to situation and circumstance inside any room at any given time, or you can carefully, purposefully, and very calculatedly plan what do you want your life to look like, what do you want your life to feel like, which is what's most important to me. And that way, when you walk into a room, you're most equipped to be able to react or respond to what's happening in that room. But it's more about intentioning what you want your life to be like. And I'm not talking about just law of attraction. I'm talking about knowing who you are and priming your state, priming your mind, priming your body, so that when you walk into a room, you're actually showing up inside that room versus just a default reaction to a past preconceived program that you've had in your mind from your childhood or from a past situational relationship, and how you've responded. Then you get to respond in that moment as you.
Yeah. Same frequency, Dave?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's applied mathematics and theoretical physics that will actually confirm what Rudy's talking about. There's, this mathematical equation of what we focus in on is one thing. So you can have vision boards and extraordinary apps, et cetera, that will allow you to focus in on what it is you want in that trajectory of where you want to be. But it's the 5 levels of intention that you can apply, actually, physics, quantum physics, applied mathematics too. Of if you're very intentional, it means I've already prepared. For example, like Rudy said, when I walk into a room, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to say. This is how I think, feel, and believe in alignment with where I want to be or better, in order to facilitate the mathematics, the applied mathematics and physics of the universe. Because what you're paying attention to, which is the planning of preparing to go into a circumstance, situation, relationship, event, whatever it may be, plus the intention of here's what I plan to do, say, think, feel, and believe, will equal the coincidences or better of that circumstance. And the coinciding of the universe, like Rudy said, the law of attraction is only part of it. There's, the law of gravity that applies, and then, of course, the law of perception, and asking ourselves, hey, what am I doing to be responsible to my trajectory? What am I doing to attract the trajectory? And how am I participating in the perception of my trajectory? And what can I learn from it in order to adjust or adopt? Because in the end, even applied mathematics, the attention plus intention, making the greatest plans in preparation, are just going to make God laugh at you. And if you're not steadfast in your focus, you won't understand the adaptability and adaptability of you as a human being in those circumstances.
Amen. Dave, you look super cute today, by the way.
Thank you. You're one of the few that believe that, but you and my wife, I'm fine with it. As long as I got both of you guys, I'm good.
Well, now I'm the 3rd most handsome cat on this call.
I'm the oldest of these cats on the call.
Rudy, I love you, buddy. I just want you to know that I appreciate our friendship so much. It was so fun to finally meet up with you in person. One of the other things that you do so well, and I guess that's really some of the responsibilities of us three in our own specific communities and so forth. Rudy, you go into major organizations, whether it's people or teams and companies, and you're so good at helping people tap into more of their own potential. What is the way that someone maybe listening today can begin to tap into more of their own unique potential?
I love your question so much. The reason I work in companies is just because so many people spend so much time at work, right? So we get to impact the largest group of people in a concentrated space. The latest research that's come out of COVID is that 85% of the human population is suffering chronic stress 75% of their time, which means when they're awake, they're in a heightened state of stress. When a person's in a heightened state of stress, they lose the left and right brain function. So they go out of coherence. When they go out of coherence, they don't have the ability to have logic. They don't have the ability to be, have reason or intuition or inspiration. So like the faculties of what make us who we are is completely gone. And if we're walking around 75% of the time in heightened stress, we are not the person that's reacting to any situation because you don't have any of those things to be able to support you to think clearly or logically to make your next step or decision. And so I would encourage people to ask themselves, how do they feel right now? Like, what is the emotion that you're feeling? And if you could name that emotion, which you can, what would be the way that you say that you feel the most often throughout your day? Because that would be your dominant state of how you feel. How you feel is now controlling where your brain accesses information. It controls the decision-making process that you have. It also controls what you're looking for. The brain's narrowing down 10 million bits of data to reinforce only information that validates how you were last feeling. And so if you could, which I say all the time, you can you change your emotional state? And so if you feel anxious, nervous, worried, eager, excited, motivated, those feelings, that's awareness to what's going on in your mind, unconsciously or subconsciously. And if you could then change what you're focusing in on by picking an elevated state of emotion, meaning just, if I'm nervous or anxious and then I pick emotion of eagerness or excitement or exuberance, or maybe it's just a wonder and awe, that feeling is going to change where I access information in the brain. It's going to change the chemical dump going into the body. It's going to change the physical cells in the body. And then it's going to also change the experiences of what I'm going to have next. I think it's a tool that so few people really focus in on, and that is controlling their emotional state. But your question was very specific. What is one thing I can teach you? And I would say, if you were to take your two fingers, your thumb and your pointed finger, and you were to squeeze them together while holding a thought, an elevated thought, your brain's going to fire a neurological pathway to match that action. And so as you hold a thought of being eager and excited, and you put an image in your mind of achieving something, let's say it's winning the marathon, or it's crossing the finish line, or it's publishing a new book, or it's becoming a best-selling author, and you hold that feeling in your mind in a meditative state, and you squeeze these two fingers together, your brain's actually firing the neurological circuit of that with that emotion. Now throughout your day, when you're experiencing heightened emotion, you can go back to that and just tap your two fingers and feel that, and your body's going to chemically induce you with the interpretation of the information, which is called emotion, into the body, and you're going to go straight back to that state. And now you're bringing coherence back into the brain. You're coming back to logical. You're leaving states of heightened stress, and now you're you for the first time in a while.
Dave, have you ever seen someone as sharp as they are handsome?
I am witnessing as we speak that exact experience, and no doubt the two tips that I would add, because there's so many, is one, if we're in especially collective consciousness, that corporate setting where people supposedly have a similar objective for the activity they get paid for. One, we want to look and take inventory in our own skills and our own knowledge pertaining to what activity we get paid for within the organization. And what I'm saying is that our skills and our knowledge are our basement. So if my profession, the activity I got paid for, was basketball, my skills and knowledge would have a very low basement if I was pursuing within the organization playing center on the team. But if it was being the general manager of the team, my basement would be much higher. But then after we figure out, are you in the right place according to your skills and knowledge where your basement is, so you can utilize the greatest productivity? Now it's the executives' jobs in order to facilitate bringing the best out of those employees by notating that the reason you're here is that delta, that potential, and your desire will determine your ceiling, where your knowledge and skills of who and what and how are going to determine your basement. And this mathematical equation of understanding, hey, this is how we'll get the highest productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. The other thing I want to add to the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious interpretation by Rudi, which I'm going to utilize the two-finger mechanism as well, is that this is true not only in a company, but for everyone, that everyone has self-talk. It's been I just read an incredible article that 80% of all self-talk is negative. It's worry, anxiety, frustration, resentment, guilt, separation, inferiority, superiority, 80% or more, I should say, because everyone knows my favorite statistic, 99% of all statistics are made up. So let's just say the majority of your thoughts, your self-talk is negative. Here's the thing that Rudi was explaining to you. 90% of all self-talk is repetitive because it's in the subconscious and unconscious. So it's created itself a nice little path that, oh, I feel this way. Okay, this is what I'm going to do, say, think, and feel automatically. And that self-talk is really, really important when 90% of the time the self-talk is repetitive. Now we're talking about a real diminishing, non-productive way to live your life. And the majority of the people are living that life without being conscious. So these tips that Rudi gave you can change that. Now I have a cancel, clear, connect mechanism that I use in my book, which I'm happy always to send people for free. So, guys like Craig and others in the world, they can charge for their books. I can't. So I just give it away for free. I go so far, Rudi, I actually pay for shipping and the book and send it out to everyone for free. I wish I could sell it, but it takes the kings up there. Those guys are making serious cash, not me. But if you want it, it's david@dmeltzer.com.
A couple things. Number one, we're going to bring on our next guest. Rudi, if you can.
Wait, you got another guest?
Yeah, full surprises. Rudi, hang out for 10 minutes if you can, brother. And
Absolutely.
then also, Dave, what
Rudi,
you said.
you're awesome, man. That was the best explanation I've ever heard, by the way, about that topic. I mean, amazing.
Wow,
Thank you.
That's high praise right there. Real high. There she is.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I have to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. Anneli?
Yeah, Anneli, Swedish.
This beautiful name. Where are you down in from?
I'm south of Stockholm from my home studio.
Love it. Cool. Well, welcome to the party.
Thank you.
Great to have you. We always say to our listeners, play catch up, do a deep dive. I want to dive right in. I love your content. I love what you're up to. One of the things that you were talking about, as we also mentioned going into the new year and so forth, is a lot of people have fitness goals and stuff like that. But you talk about getting your business in shape. And I haven't heard it articulated like that. I thought it was so beautiful. Tell us what you mean by that.
What I mean by getting my business in shape, I do think that for me, I do teach creatives, by the way. Like, I don't know if people know who I am. Maybe I should just super quick introduce myself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Anneli Hansson, and I'm a brand strategist. I've been in this creative industry for like 25 years, and my big mission is to help creatives getting paid for their thinking. So I teach brand strategy, marketing strategy. So, but the last 3 years, I've been on this journey of transformation from a consultant to a coach, an educator, and it's been a really wild ride when it comes to personal branding and personal development. And so I think that I went all in by just wanting to teach people and give away as much as I can in my content for free, because that's how I think we bring value first. But then it's the business side of it all too. So I kind of need to get myself in shape, but also my business, to think about how can I combine my big mission of teaching 1 million creatives at the same time as I'm actually growing a business, a sustainable business for myself. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, this is something that more entrepreneurs need to talk about, because a lot of people start to do this stuff for their heart and make an impact. But Dave, we also have to turn it into a thriving business as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And you know what's so interesting, working in branding and marketing, mostly in sports and entertainment for the last 35 years, is that the total addressable community is so large now. And I even believe that most people who are working in branding and marketing can't even fathom the people that have been doing it for long enough. And I get reminded of it every day, how big the total addressable community is. If you look at some of the bigger communities, and I utilize and have transposed the word brand and community today, and it's to the point that you're making, Craig, is that the community that we want to build according to a product, solution, service, or now a personal brand with creatives, especially today, we're building a bunch of people that want to help each other and know people that can help each other, that have an emotional bond, and logically they somehow justify that bond. But what's interesting that I've learned, and like I said, I'm still the oldest one here, what I've learned about these communities of people when you do it right, whether you're Frito-Lay or Pepsi or coaching or speaking or branding a SaaS solution today, when you have a group of people that are there to help each other and know people that will help each other, they do this extraordinary thing in branding, which is they buy from you for life and they sell for you for life. And the biggest brands, personal, experiential, software, whatever it is, they have a group of people that are there buying from them and selling for them. And that's what creates true brand. And as a strategist like Anneli, she understands that, utilizing the mechanisms to build community, because that's not only what lasts the longest, but it's actually the easiest to monetize.
Yeah, beautifully said. I love there's so much alignment here. Anneli, I'm curious, you're teaching a lot of these people and so forth. What is maybe a misconception or something that a lot of people get wrong that you notice when it comes to start to go lean in and build your brand?
I mean, I think when it comes to personal branding, a lot of people have a big challenge, because maybe we're all, at least I am, I know, old enough. I think we're all old enough to remember how it was like back in the days when we actually had more magazines than internet things. So there were like a big difference between articles and journalists and ads. And I think that what people forget about today a little bit on social media, that they're almost treating their social media accounts as ads. And no one wants to read things that you want to sell them all the time. That's not why you follow someone. So I really try to separate that. Like, what is my business here? Because when you give a lot of value, so people need to know, like, and trust you. So first you need to build brand awareness, and the best way is to give a lot of value to people and build that awareness. And then you vibe with people, and some you don't vibe with. And I think it's just good if we're actually very personal, because there's thousands of brand strategies out there, but it's only one of me. And then I think that when we build that trust, and then after a while, you want to launch something. That I just launched a brand strategy bootcamp. And I don't say it because I want to sell, because I already sold out. And why did I do that? Because I built that genuine trust by my content. So while I'm actually just open the door and say, hey, now I have 50 spots who want to sign up, then I sell out right away. So I think what most people do wrong is to see it really short term, and they just blast out a lot of sales message on social media, and that's not how we build a personal brand. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I love that, and I talk about that in the book. You have to date your audience a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Rudy, would you agree with that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with the philosophy of just add value, and if people love what you're doing, then they're going to follow you, and to create raving fans everywhere you go. So beautifully said.
Yeah. Dave, you got something to say?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add, so many people are treating it as a zero-sum game, right? It's a trade or negotiation, and that's always not worked in the long run. And for me, the variable is time. Because they don't understand the total addressable community and don't understand the importance of community, therefore they believe that everyone should like them, buy from them, and be a fan of them. When in actuality, you're much better off in your first year getting 2 true fans that will buy from you and sell for you for a lifetime, because then you'll have 4 of those next year, 8 of those the next year, and within 20 years you'll have 2 million of those, getting 2 million of those every year for you. But most people they don't understand one thing about human nature. We don't have the capability of understanding or knowing outcomes instantaneously. So when we create good behaviors and don't see an instant outcome that's aligned with where we think we should be, we immediately quit. And so, like, even when I coach people on, like you, Craig, on your podcast, what's the first thing I said? If you're gonna start a podcast, man, do 10 and put them in the can and do not post the 10. I said, not only will you build a base of business development with the 10 guests that you've had, not only will you get better at doing podcasts, but you've already reached the top 1% of podcasts, because most podcasters quit before they get to 10 episodes. And this patience is, to me, the backbone of marketing strategy, branding strategy, and community building.
Yeah, I love that. This is so much fun. I'll land the plane.
Because you're in like Barbados or somewhere. Everything's fun when you're in Barbados.
Bermuda.
Oh, Bermuda.
Oh my God.
Don't get caught in the triangle, bro.
I know. Final nugget. I saw you talking about, Anneli, the cost of inaction. I call it the COI. One of my favorite concepts is people debate whether they should start something, fear of judgment, fear of failure. But I always like to remind them, what about the cost of inaction?
Mm-hmm.
How come that one really resonates with you as well?
I think that I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I don't say that in a positive way. It's really not a good thing. And what I learned, and I think I really want to credit like my mentor, because he's actually the reason why I could actually totally change my mindset around this. It's Christo from the future, or the founder of the future, and he helped me.
I thought you had a friend from the future. That's
from
awesome.
the future. That would be really cool. I suspect he is from the future too, but don't tell him. Okay. So, but anyway, what I think that sometimes I just try to wait for the right moment, or to try to change my mindset. And I realize for me, it doesn't work. I need to take action. And when I take action, that's when my mindset shifts. So I just try to lean into liking failure. And failure for me is like a new thing now. It used to be something really bad. I was so afraid of looking stupid in front of people. Like, I wanted to have everything figured out. So to say I don't know, or to not do perfect things, would be awful for me. Now I'm trying to lean into this whole idea of prototyping everything I do. So I tell my students and my coaching students, like, you're supposed to suck. Like, do your shitty first draft. It's supposed to be bad. We do it together. We just jump, and then we do it again and again and again. And someday it will be really good, and then we start to change. So that's why I'm saying, like, you need to take action. It's the same thing with your business. Like, if you don't invest in yourself, you will never get anywhere. And then people are stuck in the same place a year later. That's the cost.
I think that's a huge message to land the plane with. On par with you, Rudy?
100%. I spent almost 20 years trying to make everything look perfect and sound perfect and polished. And I didn't take any forward steps because I was so busy caught up in the micro details. And I think that when you just take action every single day, and fear, you mentioned fear a moment ago, fear is just the brain's ability to say we haven't done what we're wanting to do. And so we're alert. And that alertness we translate as anxiousness or nervousness or fear, and it stops us. But I would challenge people that have fear to get excited, because if you're fearful, you're doing something you've never done. And that's where you get something you've never experienced. And so I love the advice.
Dave, final nugget?
Just the word better. I think it's so interesting. I study Einstein a lot, as I've probably spewed enough applied mathematics and theoretical physics on people that goes over their head. But simply put, nothing happens until it moves. And I take a perspective of, look, my job is to get better, to pursue my potential. So if I don't move, I'm guaranteed one thing: I'm not going to get better. I may stay safe, which is the innate, inherent status of a human being, is to stay safe. And so that's why there's such a struggle between excitement and fear. When people are nervous, I said that, nervousness and anxiety have the exact same frequency as excitement. And Rudy has now given me a great tip on how to transition people at the same frequency into something that's better. And when, like you said, Anneli, when they start, I never say it's good or bad. I just say it's the beginning. And we know it's the beginning, and we have a choice. We can stay at the beginning, or we can get better. And here's some tips on how to get better and know one thing. We don't know what we don't know. I love the fear of people, I am versus this is what I want people to think I am is the biggest construct of resistance I've ever heard of. And it's a problem on social media. And it's so wonderful just to tell people, hey, it's the beginning, but let's get better. I'm a best options guy, or you can just stay the same. Which one do you want to do? And let's think, say, do, believe, and feel using what Rudi teaches us and the strategies of what Anneli teaches us. And we'll just get there faster. We'll aggregate more of the positive behaviors. And guess what? The outcomes will be exponentially better. Will they be exactly what you wanted? Absolutely not. If you had that power, you wouldn't be here. But they will be better if you take action in the right trajectory using the mindset, heart set, and hand set these unbelievable guests of yours, Craig, have articulated. So do a deep dive on these two, learn more, make those mistakes, learn more, make more mistakes, and you will be better.
Hey, both of you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Genuinely, I'm better for this. Hope the audience as well. And I hope this was as valuable for you guys as it was for us.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye, guys.
Enjoy
Have a great
Bermuda,
weekend.
Craig.
And I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys offline. Dave,
Yeah.
thank you as always, my partner in crime, 142 in a row.
Wow.
You're amazing, buddy. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy the triangle. Call me when you get back.
Okay, I will. Bye, guys. Have a great
Bye.
weekend.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys. So much fun. The Paradigm Shift, episode 142 in the books. We'll be back next week on 143. And just thank you guys. Give these two a follow. They were awesome. Really special cats. Great insight, great nuggets, great humans. And you will only be more enlightened if you give them a follow. That much I can promise. And here's what we got over here. Sometimes you just got to disconnect to reconnect. And that's what I'm looking forward to doing this weekend. Thank you guys for joining us. Love you all. And let's have an unbelievable productive weekend. And don't forget the COI, the cost of inaction.